and welcome to the Home That Sews. For the past couple years, I've been on this woodworking journey, and in 2022 decided to stop building on igloos, the floor, and folding tables, and take my workshop up a notch by building a workbench. In this video, you'll see some of my victories as well as some of my failures as I got to phase 1 of building this workbench, which would just be the frame. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more about how I built the section for the table saw, some flip tops, as well as got these other pieces connected.
What a beautiful day for a workbench build. Let's get started. I want my workbench build to be 4 feet by 8 feet and then 3 feet tall. I started out by building the bottom frame, which I used some 2x3s for because it's cheaper than 2x4s. I cut them down to 43 inches each, and then I just put some pocket holes on both sides of the wood. Then I measured out where I needed my wood to go on the outside pieces and attached them to it. I would definitely not recommend 0 out of 10 to do them like this. That's why I laid it flat on the floor, learned from my own mistakes, and it was much easier to put in my pocket screws this way. When it was all done, then I just used some tight bond wood glue all along the joints and flipped it over. Then I got my Ryobi nail gun and nailed for my life. Flipped it over and nailed the other side. Next, it's time to build my legs, but this of course was not without a little bit of mishap. I decided to build my own 4x4s for a couple reasons. 1, it was cheaper than buying 4x4s, and 2, I just wanted to try glue up. I haven't done it before, and I really wanted to get some practice. I'm really glad that I did it this way because there was definitely some things that I learned. 1, heat and temperature is definitely important when doing your glue up if you want it to glue properly. 2, it's better to scrape off the glue before it dries than trying to do it at the end because this was an epic fail. I decided to just rip my boards instead. So now that my boards were all even, it's time to attach them to the base. I used some Simpson Strong Tie galvanized steel angle brace on the inside and outside corners. And then I've also used some galvanized hex exterior wood screws to drive them in using my Ryobi impact driver. And to be completely honest, I really do hate drilling pilot holes, mainly because I just don't feel like taking up the time. I mean, who really does want to take up the time? But it does really make a difference when you're driving your screws, and also helps to make sure that your wood does not split, so it was worth it. After getting the leg screwed on, I decided to turn it over, and boy am I glad that I did. I had to take a step back, redo my calculations, and decided to cut off 6 inches from each leg. This was to account for my casters that were 3 inches, as well as the 3/4 inch plywood that's on the top and approximately 2.5 inches from the bottom frame. Now it's time to put on my top framing pieces. I used some 2x4s, cut down to 42 inches for the short sides, and then I cut 6.5 inches off my 96 inch to make the long one. I ended up adding pocket holes to both sides and used some clamps to hold it up against the legs, and then I just screwed them in. In this video, I only did 3 sides because I purposely wanted to do a flip top on the other side, and I didn't want to put in the frame to just end up having to take it out. And now that I've finished screwing all the sides, it's time for the moment of truth. Let's get the top on. This was definitely a lackluster situation because I realized that it would not fit. I had made the side railing a little too long, so I ended up cutting that and it fit. So now that all sides were on, it's time to finally attach the casters. I love these casters that I got. They're from Amazon. They have a down and an up function, and you basically just move the switch. When you want it to go down, you have to kind of do the lever back and forth, and then the rubber goes down and it goes up. When attaching, I had to cut some excess pieces of 2x4s to put in the corners because there just wasn't enough space in each corner to attach the caster to. So I just cut a little, literally 4x4 inch, and repeated the same attachment with a nail gun and glue in each corner. Now let me tell you something about this piece right here. This piece is a lifesaver. I needed to get into kind of a tight space to screw these in, and I was able to use that extension to screw in my casters perfectly. So I just repeated this process on all 4 sides and then just flipped it over. So this is how phase 1 looks. Follow and subscribe for phase 2.